Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. Um, I'd like to give a shout out to Rufy B. Rufy B is an analyst, and he does a great job of extracting these numbers as soon as the results dropped. And so the figures I have here are from a table he shared on a WhatsApp group that we belong to. I would also share this on Twitter, and I'll tag his handles on the video, right? So shout out to Rufy B. Without he doing this, I probably wouldn't be able to have a video out so promptly. This video is for GTCo numbers for the 3 months ended September 2023. But that also means that you get numbers for the 9 months, so January to September 2023. So one of the reasons why I thought to do this video now is so I can show the breakdown between Q1, Q2, and Q3 2023. Like any business that you do, not every, I mean, you have a variation in terms of numbers, right? You have a variation in terms of performance. So some quarters you make more money than others. So even though when you look at results and full year results, and you might say, okay, X billion or Y billion, it doesn't mean that, oh, you just divide the numbers by four. So you have ups and downs in terms of performance. And I think for financial institutions, the FX movement means that you've had a significant bump in gains. But you can only see that bump in gains when you break down numbers like this, right? So, these numbers are for Q3 2023, and I'm going to be breaking down what I look out for in banking numbers. Obviously, I can't do that with a short videos like short video rather like this, but this is just the basic stuff, the essential that you need to know, or just generally what I like to look at. I mean, there's a whole number of technical stuff you can look at: non-performing loans, what else again? Stage one, stage two, stage three loans. I mean, GT numbers are extremely comprehensive. So who knows? Maybe I'd go a bit deeper in my thread I do every Sunday. So if you follow me on Twitter, same handle, you'd see the thread I do, and I'll do a more elaborate explanation on the GT numbers. So what I look out for first is gross earnings. Gross earnings simply means how much did the firm make. And so you can see Q1 gross earnings were 158. There was a bounce in Q2 to 514, and then Q3 to 177, right? Now, you can split gross earnings essentially into two. You have interest income and non-interest income. Interest income is the money a financial institution makes from loans that it gives out, as well as investments such as treasury bills, bonds, or interest-bearing investments. And so you can see that there was a bump in that as well. Q1, 104 billion, Q2, 121, then Q3, 148. And that was pretty much stable. Now let's come to non-interest income. Non-interest income is the money financial institutions make from other things. So you have fees and commission. You have trading income, money they make from trading FX or trading bonds or trading anything. You have, I guess you can, yeah, revaluation gains. And so the bump or the huge jump you see from Q1 2023 to Q2 2023, that massive jump can be explained due to revaluation gains. We had a large movement in the official exchange rate a couple of months ago. And obviously, if you're a financial institution, any institution for that matter, when you have foreign assets and there's a movement in the naira, then you revalue them and you use the current exchange rate. And so that means that in naira terms, those assets are worth more. And so you had that bounce in Q2. Now Q3, I would say, and I haven't looked at the numbers deeply, but Q3 numbers tend to have dropped sharply, and I wonder why. Unfortunately, banks don't do calls for Q3. If not, I probably would have asked a question that, look, what happened? In fact, I'm actually cross-checking my table, so I hope I don't make any errors in that. So non-interest income for Q2, Q2, Q3 rather. Yeah, so I'm right. 29.1 billion. So I wonder why that drop compared to Q1. I'll look at the numbers and share more in my thread over the weekend. But yeah, so that to me is rather odd. I'm sure there's a good explanation for that, and I'd look at the numbers and fish it out on my thread. So non-interest income, like I said, is money you make from other things, trading gains, fees and commissions. So all those debit alerts you get for charges, account maintenance charges, and all those things that really piss people off. That's where you tend to see them, or that's the line item in which you fall under. And let's look at profit before tax. There's a huge bump in Q2, like every other criteria in Q2. So Q1 is 74 billion, Q2 253, Q3 105, and that's good because even though to the ordinary person you might say, hey, it went down sharply from 253, but the reality is you had massive evaluation gains in Q2, and that's why you have this bump, right? But the nice thing to see is that there's growth from Q1 to Q3, so it shows that yes, the company is moving on a decent trajectory. Then for profit after tax, that also goes up decently, 8.1 in Q1 to 222 billion in Q2, and then 86.3 billion in Q3, right? So it's a decent performance all in all. And so in my last column, you can see I've also merged the numbers. You have 850 billion as gross earnings, 433 billion as profit before tax, and profit after tax, 367 billion. Now, to the regular person, what they want to know at the end of the day is, look, out of all these billions and billions you're calling, how much am I taking home as a shareholder? If I remember correctly, I think GT they did a 50 kobo interim dividend, right? Interim dividend is a dividend that firms pay before the end of the audited financial numbers or before the release of their audited financial numbers. And GT did 50 kobo, right? So the total earnings per share that you have as at 9M 2023 is 12.98. Now, I just like to state, and because I know people might, by the time you look at the numbers and just see, oh, there's a massive rise in income. Those gains you see, those FX evaluation gains, they're not cash, right? It's just paper evaluation. So even though on paper you see a huge jump in profit after tax or profit before tax, it's not money that it can pay out to shareholders, right? So if I recall correctly, I think GT did 2 naira 50 kobo last year at its final dividend, making a total of how much? I think 2 naira 50 kobo, 2 naira 70 kobo. I can't remember. I'll have to check. But why I'm going to is, don't expect that you're going to get a 5 naira or 6 naira or 7 naira. That's not happening. Banks are trying to keep, and financial institutions are trying to just keep as much cash as they can. So you're not going to see a huge or a massive increase in dividends. I think they've jacked up their interim dividend from 30 kobo to 50 kobo, which isn't bad. I suspect, I kind of think that maybe they'll either maintain what they did last year, or maybe they'll just up it by another 20 to 30 kobo. And so who knows? Maybe 3 naira something kobo. But even if they can do 3 naira, it's not bad really. So I hope you found this useful. Should you have any questions, please feel free to share. Watch out for my thread. I'll do a deeper dive into the numbers, and my thread goes up every Sunday or Monday occasionally. But if you check my handle, Quantimodo on Twitter, you'd see the latest thread I did. So thank you all, and have a good day ahead. Yeah.